Don't get me wrong.
Oh, don't get me wrong.
I mean, don't get me wrong, it's beautiful.
I love London. Don't get me wrong. I love London.
And don't get me wrong, I love working for you.
She sounds cool. Don't get me wrong.
Well, don't get me wrong. She's nice.
No, don't get me wrong. No, he's not in like a sissy way. No.
Don't get me wrong, you still feel good about it.
Oh, don't get me wrong. I'm thrilled.
Don't get me wrong. I like the way I'm wired.
Don't get me wrong, I still have every intention of sleeping with him.
Don't get me wrong, I'm flattered. I just don't see it.
Don't get me wrong. I think you would have been a wonderful mother.
And don't get me wrong, I was pretty hung up on you.
Betty, don't get me wrong, I love Wally. I ought to. I was married to him for 10 years.
I mean, don't get me wrong. Sometimes I try to hug you too long and it gets a little uncomfortable.
Don't get me wrong, John. I appreciate everything you've done for me and the city.
Alex, what was your wish?
I wished we could go home. I mean, don't get me wrong, I love this, but it's not the real thing.
Don't get me wrong, I love being married. Been there 4 times. Problem is, I love being single, too.